This is the men's room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
You're listening to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Ray Sugar Soda standing by. We'll take caller 9-844-999 Ola to play profile this in minutes. And we do have your headlines on the way 1 hour from now. First, quick check into Mike Hawk for some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
All right, a website just ranked every state from the most patriotic to the least based on things like military service, voting, and volunteering.
Military service, voting, and volunteering.
Yes.
The percentage of votes, I guess, more so than the number of total votes, because that would just be population.
Sure.
Are you even working on this,
military
man?
No, not a damn
service,
bit.
I would have to think more, a lot more. I don't know. I think that a state like West Virginia, where I'm from, it's in so many people to the military. They're going to weigh heavier there just based on the military service members
Florida,
that come from
maybe?
the state.
I don't know.
But no bases. So, but if you have like a base, you have more of a military presence.
I don't know.
It doesn't matter. You're not working on it.
Correct. A man in Oregon was upset over a Taco Bell drive-thru taking too long on Saturday, so he went inside and asked for a job application to help out, and then he assaulted the manager. So he was arrested.
I know you're not working on it. Do you think he got the job? Who does that? Like, while I'm waiting for my food, I'm going to fill out a job application.
He was that angry.
He was at a drive-thru.
Right, so he went inside. He was in that fit of anger. He said,
Right.
Screw it. I'm going to sign up and work here myself. And then never got through that until he beat up the manager.
The really dumb part about it, aside from his whole rationale, is just this. When you fill out a job application, there's your name, there's your address. Then you beat the person up, and when the cops say, hey, do you know who he is? You go like, yeah, it's the Ted Smith who lives black, because he just filled it in. Mm-hmm. Like, come on, man.
Drive-thru, man. It's volatile.
What is about the drive-thru? People are worse in the drive-thru than the actual restaurant, it seems.
Because they're impatient.
Yeah, okay.
They just suck. In 2016, a man in Dallas got 3 years in jail for threatening to post fake Yelp reviews about a company if they didn't give him $30,000. Then as soon as he got paroled, he made good on the threat and started posting reviews from his halfway house, and a judge just sentenced him to 8 more years in prison.
He's back.
So wait a minute. If he's not blackmailing him, he could just post it. A fake Yelp review shouldn't be illegal.
You have to say it might have been part of his probation.
Yeah,
right? If you're at the halfway house, like, look, all we're going to ask you to do, the one thing, don't post fake Yelp reviews about this place. They just couldn't do it.
Exactly. A man in Kentucky was arrested last June for shooting his brother. He wound up doing almost a year in jail for assault, and then earlier this month, he shot his brother again.
I'm back.
And was in jail on another assault charge.
I mean, family or not, you can't just go around shooting people.
No.
They're not the same person.
Right?
I mean, like, goddamn, man.
Well, and you think that his brother wouldn't, go around him after that?
Well, he may have just shown up.
Congratulations, you got out of jail for shooting me.
I mean, I get some spats with your siblings, but
Right.
Man.
shooting your own brother twice is
Even once is bad.
yeah.
And then you're in jail for a year. Basically, you get out, go to his house, and shoot him again.
You know what? Nobody's looking at this side of the argument. What did his brother do to him?
Mike, you bring up a solid point.
That's
dude.
true.
Maybe this brother's just a POS.
Right. A new study found that obsessively following your passion isn't the recipe for success. The researchers found that when you focus on just one thing too hard, it hurts your creativity and makes you more likely to quit when it gets tough.
Okay.
Therefore, it's not your passion, in my opinion. The average person spends at least 4 hours.
I also think that goes to kids these days. Like, let them play a few sports.
Yeah, I mean, with kids, because kids don't necessarily know what they like yet. They'll figure it out. But, I mean, as an adult, I would say, look, if it's your passion, follow. Because if it's your passion, it's probably unlikely, right? So if you're not giving it everything, it will remain unlikely.
But there's some things, too, that are just outside of your hands.
Oh, yeah. Hey, man.
It doesn't mean you're not following your passion. It's just like, all right.
Yeah.
6% of people say they get angry when someone calls in sick at work, according to a new survey.
Angry?
Yes.
I mean, it depends who it is.
I don't
And
want
another 19% of people say they get frustrated when someone calls in sick a lot.
Well, that's different.
yeah.
That's different.
Right.
I think the only thing I ever get angry about is when somebody's clearly contagious. Like, what are you doing here?
I know I got mono. I'm just trying to tough it out.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh, it's walking pneumonia.
Don't worry,
Fine.
so you can still walk.
So I'm running everywhere.
It's walk, right. So I drove to work.
Almost half of people say that they sometimes try to avoid handshakes because they're worried about the other person's germs, according to a new survey.
I just wear a glove.
Case by case basis.
It is. Depends
Generally speaking, I'm not, but every once in a while, every 50th person you meet, like, oh no.
All right, but here's something we actually thought about. All right, Mike, and I don't know if we shared this with you exactly, but okay. So I'm right-handed, right?
Okay.
So when I shake hands with Steve, I shake his right hand.
That is correct.
Right.
Steve, in fact, is left-handed.
Yes.
Okay. So when I masturbate with my right hand.
I touch his D hand.
Steve masturbates with his left hand.
Correct.
When we shake hands, he is touching my D hand. However, I am never touching his. That's funny.
I think that's unfair.
It is unfair.
It is.
I would have to go in with the left hand to shake his D hand.
But on the same token, if you're going to go by that theory, then I've touched some people's wives' breasts. Because that would be the breast hand, right?
All right.
I feel better about that.
You have, yeah, but that's okay. That's okay.
What socks are you wearing?
I just hate it when you get an awkward one. Either they give you dead fish hand, or
dead fish.
or sometimes like it's just the angle's wrong. Like
And
sometimes
you
I'll
just get the fingers.
I'll just say, "Hey, dude, that was
Snap.
weak out of me. Let's shake it.
Do it again. Yeah.
Run it back."
A 39-year-old woman near Tampa was arrested on Monday after she showed up for jury duty with a half a gram of cocaine in her pocket.
Come on, man.
Show up with a full gram.
Right.
Because that means you
Commit.
showed up to the
Go
court
big or
hearing
go
a
home.
little bit coked up.
God
I
damn.
think that's where just like she must have woken up and ran straight to court.
I'm guessing. I'm guessing.
Either that or she needed to take the edge off at
I
some
mean, ready to
point.
go to recess and do a line with all the other jurors. Hang out.
Like it's jury duty, dude. Like you got to go through security.
You do understand this, right?
Like you see that picture of the lady in the convenience store. It's in the South. It's hot.
Am I working on it?
There's just a Coke baggie stuck to her leg.
Oh, yeah.
No.
I mean, it's like stuck to the back of her thigh because he's sweating.
Ah.
Oh, yeah. She has no idea.
I'll take two iced teas.
Oh, dear. Rumor has it Hershey might start selling 2 new types of whipped cream.
They better.
Chocolate
yeah.
flavored and Reese's peanut butter cup.
Both of those sound fantastic. Bring it on.
I'm going with pumpkin pie, man. I'm putting it on my pumpkin pie.
Which one?
You can't go wrong with peanut butter. Peanut
them,
butter
man.
flavored stuff, man. It can go a lot of places.
You're talking about stuff you're going to put it on.
you-
I'm going to be on. I'm going to spray it directly in my mouth.
Yeah, you could get a crackle bar, right? And just go
right.
spray, peanut butter on whipped cream on top. Just eat it like, delicious crackle, it's crunchy peanut butter. Like it'll go on anything. You put on a banana,
Count on it.
peanut butter, banana. Your celery, boom.
A woman,
Anything,
A woman who
Peanut
had
butter on a banana seems kind of sexual.
whatever you want.
peanut butter banana.
You ever had a peanut butter banana?
I mean, just the
Chocolate?
whipped cream. I don't know. I feel like I've seen a stripper do that. Put whipped cream on a banana and then
Where are you
do
going?
stuff with the banana.
What club are you headed to?
Because we're going.
A woman who
Private
had
joke.
major hoarding issues recently passed away, and police found, count them, 82 chihuahuas running around her house.
Oh, my God.
Can't be good for those dogs.
The stink has got to be just unbearable.
82 chihuahuas.
82 chihuahuas. Short hairs.
Couldn't keep just one.
Ah, goodness.
I mean, they clearly were breeding.
A cop in North Dakota recently pulled a car over and found 500 pounds of marijuana. But a judge just ruled that it can't be used as evidence because he pulled the driver over for going 2 miles under the speed limit.
So what happens to the weed?
The
Yeah.
judge ruled that it wasn't good enough reason to pull the car over, and it violated the driver's Fourth Amendment rights concerning unreasonable search and seizure. My guess is they got to keep it.
No way. They don't let him keep the weed.
Man, it
Because
was
as soon as they
obtained
give it to him, they're
illegally.
like, let him go down the street a block, won't pull him over again.
Right,
I mean,
yeah,
come
that's
on.
true.
It violated their rights to have it.
Come on.
I mean, look, I get why he got out of the case, which is amazing, but there's no way they let him keep
Yeah,
500 pounds of
Man,
weed.
But I think
How
he'll
else
be
do you get it?
agreeable about that. Like, you know what, go ahead and keep the weed, and I'll go ahead and go free.
But the problem is, as soon as they gave it back to him, he'd be committing a crime.
Right, so you wouldn't take it back.
Right.
You want your weed
okay.
back?
I see what you're saying.
Hell
Right.
no. The smart guy be like, no, guys, you keep it.
500
There you
pounds.
go.
How do you even get that in a car?
right? Passengers on a plane thought they were all about to die, but they hadn't even left the ground.
How the hell does that happen?
I'll tell you all about it 1 hour from now.
Take it by cock. Headlines are on the way 1 hour from now. First, the game is.
The Men's Room presents Profile
Yes, Steve
This.
Hill, can you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Tanner. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, Victor.
Hola. All right, Tanner, you understand how this here game is played?
Yes, I do.
All right, here's your story, and it is a crazy one. A Brooklyn man is accused of chopping off his pregnant wife's right arm and two of her left fingers. He was caught over the weekend at Niagara Falls. Now, he was caught at the Welcome Center near the Rainbow Bridge. I believe that's where you cross from the States to Canada. He was wearing a life jacket, which leads the authorities to believe that he was going to try to swim across to Canada. And I don't know if you've ever seen that particular area of the country. That is not something you want to try to swim across. But either way, they think that because before he did that, apparently he talked to a bus driver and asked to ride over to the Canadian side in the luggage compartment. Yes, the bus driver this. As you might imagine, the bus driver was like, I don't know what you're into, man, but no. So the wife was home just after noon. She's waiting for the couple's 7-year-old son to finish school. That's when her husband attacked her. His motive is not clear, but they say he used a meat cleaver to sever her fingers and then her entire right arm just above the elbow. The good news is her arm was reattached in surgery. But the police department, U.S. Marshals, they got information that he'd fled toward Niagara Falls, and eventually they notified the Niagara Falls Police Department to keep an eye out for him. They found him eating dinner inside of the, inside of a food court. Either way, do you believe that this crazy-ass man is black, white, Mexi, or Asian?
I am going to have to say white. Only a white guy, I believe, is crazy enough to chop off his wife's hand, fingers, and then try and swim across a lake. No black people swim. Asians aren't going to swim, so...
Yeah, I mean, just given stereotypes of cartel stuff, like I think I'm going to go Mexico because it's always like they're chopping off stuff. So I'm just going on that stereotype.
Okay, Tanner, what are you thinking? Final answer.
I'm going to stick with my answer.
You going to stick with what? White?
White.
White, final answer. All right, we're going to find out if he was black, white, Mexican, or Asian next.
That was a tease.
You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
Hola, bitches. You're listening to the Men's Room.
Profile this takes us to Brooklyn, where a Brooklyn man chopped off his wife's right arm at the elbow down.
Yeah.
Fortunately, that was able to be reattached. Also chopped off 2 of her fingers on her other hand. Mm-hmm. He tried to flee the country, went up to Niagara Falls, and tried to basically swim his way to Canada, hide in a bus underneath the luggage in the way to Canada. He just wanted to get out of Niagara Falls and into Canada.
Yeah, he'd asked a bus driver if he could ride over to a foreign country over an international border in the cargo hold, and as you'd imagine, the bus driver said, yeah, I want no part of whatever it is you did. Right. So he had a life jacket. They believe his attempt was to then swim over to Canada, which, again, having been there, is the worst possible place to try that. But anyway, Tanner, we asked you, did you believe this guy was black, white, Mexi, or Asian? And you had absolutely no problem and no question that the guy was white.
No.
Sorry. Asian, yes,
Okay.
Indeed.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Now for all TV news all the time, it's time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box,
Armageddon!
The Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
Now, oftentimes, if you host a late-night talk show on TV, you generally don't see the other host on that show.
That is correct.
So every once in a while, they'll do, even if they're on the same network or someone replaces the guy afterward.
If you're on the same network, sure. But I'm just saying, like, generally you don't see the host of the 11:35 show from CBS, who's Stephen Colbert. Now, him and Jimmy Fallon are friends, but...
You still don't go on each other's
They don't go on each other's shows a ton, right? Now, at the same time period, you got... same time of night, you got Conan O'Brien over on TBS. Mm-hmm. So... Basically, Jimmy Fallon and Stephen Colbert, President Trump had some not-so-kind words about both of them.
Sure.
So whatever you think about that stuff, as it came together, we got kind of a cool thing, which is all these late-night talk show hosts doing a bit together.
It's surprising Trump is orange because if you ask me, he is bananas. And done. Great monologue.
Hey, lowlife.
Hey, Lost Soul. What are you up to? Be a man.
I'll try. What are you up to?
Oh, I'm busy having no talent.
Did you see Trump's rally last night?
Nope.
Me either. Heard he said some pretty bad stuff about us.
Really? That doesn't sound like him.
I heard he said we're all no talent, low life, lost souls.
Well, that's not right. That's Conan. Hold on, I'll get him.
Oh, hey guys, what's up? We just want to know what President Trump said last night. President who?
Trump.
Donald Trump. The real estate guy who sells steaks? He's president?
Yeah.
Wow. How's he doing?
Not so good.
Oh. Well, guys, give him time, okay? And remember, please be civil. If we're not careful, this thing could start to get ugly. Hey, I'm about to start shaving my chest. You guys want to watch?
No, thanks.
Hey, you still on for lunch?
Yeah, what do you want to eat?
Red Hen?
Red Hen.
It's The Late Show.
So it was funny, too, because Conan's actually on vacation. So it just looks like he's at home shaving.
Yeah, probably
right?
was. Actually.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like his show's legit not on the same this week with these shows. So I'm sure they must have called and said, "Hey, we're putting together a thing." But either way,
that's
I think
pretty cool, though.
Yeah,
we way back in our radio career, there was a show called Ron and Fez, and for whatever reason, we all just kind of got along. But they invited us down to show up on their show. They were on like 4 hours after us, whatever. And it went on their show, and it was a great time. But I do remember the response from people. They were like, "That was awesome." Yeah, you know, it really seems to matter.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I was
man.
like-
I mean, generally, right, like, you know, I shouldn't say that. Generally, for me, I bounce around the late night shows at
I
11:30
do
after
too.
Jesus Samara over.
Right.
But, yeah, I mean, I'm sure some people pick with just Colbert or Kimmel or
Sure.
Yeah.
A lot of the times, you know what you like, what these guys do. These guys do what they do for 15, 20 minutes. And then the next choice is, do you want to watch interviews? And who are these people, and are you interested in those people? So, depending on who you like, you're going to watch the monologue. And then after that, I really just think it's a matter of the way I view
guest,
television
yeah.
is the guests, and whether I'd care one way or another about their movie, what they're doing, if they're entertaining to me, are they hot, whatever.
Yeah, like
the deal.
Kimmel for years, he was my favorite guy to do a monologue. But then if you want to see like that B segment where there's like the little skits or whatever, then Fallon I always thought had some fun games. He's got people doing
he does
stuff.
great at that. Sure.
Right. I have a hard time watching Jimmy do interviews.
Oh, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Conan,
I cannot, and I hate to say because you're right. Fallon is kind of the ringleader of fun, and it's a very light show and all that. But
Yeah.
the stuff he does is stupid, but it's funny, right? But you're right. The interviews, I'm like, I can't.
Well,
not everything that people say is that funny.
And not only that, but it's not that awesome. I think Colbert does great interviews. I think Jimmy Kimmel does great interviews. Conan does great interviews. And you're right about Fallon. You hit it out. I mean, you're absolutely 100% right. Because you're like, I saw it last night. I can't believe it's the 7th Jurassic Park, but in my mind,
This is the best one.
the best one that you've ever done, right? And I'm like, just
And then if
Jimmy,
you say like, "Hey
Jimmy,
man, I
like,
broke
just-
my leg on the set," like, come on, man.
and just play the clip, because everything else you're doing is really good. Like all the bits, all the viral stuff, that's all great when you sing the songs and all that stuff. But look, man, you didn't read the book last night. Maybe you saw the movie. Maybe you had time, but you don't have to fake that part of the orgasm.
I
You
do
just
like
don't.
it. I do like it when somebody asks, like, "Did you read the book?" And like, he'll always say yes. Bill Maher is pretty good. He's always like, "No."
Yeah,
Or
man,
like-
I read excerpts, man.
Yeah,
I'm trying.
But you know, Colbert, I don't. For whatever reason, I've said this before. I just don't watch his show.
Sure, yeah, that's fine.
Also, sometimes I just turn into an old man. Like it's 11:30.
And then when they
I'm gonna
started
lay
the,
in bed.
I don't know if you noticed one of the things that the Trump said about he just called Colbert the guy on CBS.
Yeah.
Or
Oh, he
something
didn't
like
name
that.
check him?
He didn't name check him. So there was like, and now it's time for the Late Show on CBS.
Yeah,
with
the guy-
with the one guy starring that one guy on CBS. So like when they did the intro,
You know what my real problem is, man, with because I have a hard time with local news, not because of where I live, just in general, right? But so at 11 o'clock, a lot of times I miss these late night guys because, frankly, that's when Science Channel starts firing up the good stuff.
Yeah, there are some choices.
Ooh, you know, I'm going to go ahead and watch this.
What do you mean, they're
Spaces-
X-rated?
No,
X-rated?
no. But for me, it's like my porn. Space's deepest secrets will tell me more. I did not know that about Jupiter, and no one I know cares. But I'm glad that I know that.
big
Yeah,
storm
that's-
right now on Mars, by the way.
This also sounds a little pornographic.
Oh, yeah.
Space's
Hey, man.
deepest secrets.
Well, last night they're talking about the big red.
The big red eye.
spot. It's roiling and blowing because of the fast rotation. Ooh, they
know
took
what?
photographs and shared them
Big
with
red,
us.
red spot doesn't sound sexual.
There's also a show on ESPN that I've been meaning to bring up that I've been getting into, and it's like a kind of half American, half Spanish speaking version of like Sports Center or something.
So, like, just simultaneously?
The Alegre.
They speak mostly English, but they throw in like some Spanish terms and stuff. And like a couple of the guys on there, Max, I think, is Mexican American.
Okay.
But their energy is awesome. So some of the jokes I don't get because I don't speak Spanish, but it's a really good it's like how Sports Center to me used to be. Like they show highlights and the dudes are just kind of like fired up and talking.
Yeah, man, look, the one thing I can say, and I don't know what it is, there seems to be nothing in Mexico that is low energy, all right? So the few times that I've been there, people ask what you do. I'm on the radio, and they think that's great. One thing I didn't realize doesn't really exist, they don't do talk radio in Mexico. So it was mind-blowing to these guys. Like, what do you mean you talk? I'm like you and I are talking. And they're like, that's it. I'm like, yeah, basically, man. So they find that fascinating. But if you listen to, like, Mexican radio, I have no idea what they're saying. But in between the songs, and I'm sure they're just giving call letters, the weather, but I have no idea what they're talking about, but I'm in a good mood, right? So they play whatever big band-ass music. That song ends, and man, it's like, up to the next song. And I'm like,
yeah.
Either that man is panicking or he's in a very good mood.
So speaking of sports, this story's been going around. This guy pitches for the Diamondbacks, all right? His name is Archie Bradley. He's a relief pitcher, but he didn't have time to relieve himself.
I was warming up to go in a game, and I knew I had the next hitter. I knew he was on deck. It's a 2-2 count, and I'm like, man, I have to pee. So I run in our bathroom real quick. I'm ready to go, and I'm trying to pee, and I pooped my pants. I'm like, oh, my gosh, like, I know I'm a pitcher away from going in the game, so I'm scrambling to clean myself up. I get it cleaned up the best I can, button my pants up, and our bullpen coach, Mike Ferris, said, hey, you're in the game. I stepped out the bathroom. I was like, hey, am I okay? I just myself. Like, I'm about to go into this game, and they didn't believe me. They didn't believe me until they, unfortunately, saw the mess in the bathroom because I didn't have time. I was like, I got to go in the game. I just felt awkward and uncomfortable and just gross.
How hard would it be to pick? Because, look, if you poop yourself a little bit, and most of us are not doing what they do, it's distracting and uncomfortable until you can finally change your underwear, right? I can't imagine standing there, I'm getting ready to pitch, and, you're moving your legs, and you lift your leg up to do this, just how much it probably took your concentration out of what you're doing.
Yeah, not to mention, like, I mean, even if you get a drip of pee, like, on the front of your shorts, like, you're embarrassed. I can't imagine trotting out in front of...
Wondering if you got the big brown stains
right, I mean,
in
let's
the back.
say it's late in the game. I'm betting there's still at least 10,000 people there.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, oh.
And the camera's on you.
Yeah, and
right?
you're a
like
pitcher.
If the guy does not hit the ball, then the camera presumably is on you for the entirety of the time.
Right, and he's a pitcher. There's men on base already, right? He's coming in relief, so it's not like he's going from a full windup. Like, you're going to see his butt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And white pants are great.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. Have you seen the Diamondback, like that dark gray they wear?
I saw it once.
Yeah.
Sports.
It's pretty cool. It's like a charcoal gray.
Yeah, I was like, that is the ugliest baseball uniform I've ever seen. But they've been wearing it for a while now. And I'm like, that is the coolest baseball uniform I've ever seen. Let's see here. Jerry Seinfeld, he kind of weighed in on Roseanne a little bit.
Good God, man.
Yeah. You know what? I don't know that I totally disagree with him on this one. He's just saying, like, couldn't you just have another female play her character? He's like, you brought Dan Connor back from the dead. He was dead. Why not just get another Roseanne? There's other funny women that could do the part.
I hear what he's saying. I just think she's such an icon and or cult of personality that doesn't. You could bring in another female character who's not Roseanne. But I think if you're going to call that person Roseanne, just because it's her.
You can't.
Yeah.
It's the name of the show. It's the lead of the show.
But it's also who she is. She's Roseanne, even when she's not on Roseanne.
Exactly.
Right?
It's like. Well, just get another Oprah. If she wants to retire, we'll call her Oprah. She'll be a woman.
Right.
She
just
can do
call
the
her
show.
something else.
You get a car. Same Oprah crap. You know what I mean? Just whatever. It just doesn't make sense. Give some advice. Here's a book.
She's
Oprah.
big of a star, right? So I mean, it's her.
She would
show.
say, "Sing some things you're excited about today." Oh, David Spade, whatever.
Oprah is like a living musical, and I've never really enjoyed musicals, but she is one of the. And she does it all the time, and I don't even know if she's aware of it. But you'll see her in an interview talking about something serious, right? You see, you help starving children in Somalia, and she's like, and then the plane landed. It's like, come on, man, just talk. Stop singing.
Well, she only sings when she's excited.
Yeah, I know, but like, why all the time?
Except for when she sees Stedman.
I'm going to go back to this again. I know you guys hate it, but I won't lie. It was like 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. I was watching that royal wedding. When I saw Oprah, I was like, Oprah! Like, Oprah's there!
They're getting married!
It's not like I ever really watched Oprah's show, but just, I don't know, I was like pumped. Like, oh man, she made it.
Richard cheered dead and still bitter.
Oh, man.
Obviously, this time of year, America's Got Talent is the #1 show in the ratings. I just would be remiss if I didn't mention repeats of NCIS, the original, 5th. And
What day does it come out? What
Tuesdays.
Night? So, and do we know what time? Because I'm curious.
I'm going to say
know.
8. I'm going to say 8 or 9. It's got to be on prime time.
See, I thought it was 9 or 10.
Okay.
I would say before 10. It's either way. I'm wondering.
It's probably on all 3 hours.
What do the other networks show at this time that you just cannot compete, even with their repeats? So many people seem to watch that show that if you're showing repeats, chances are, honest to God, the people watching that have in fact already seen that episode. Like a repeat would be new to me, but it seems like enough people watch it that they even, and they still would rather watch that than whatever the other networks are putting on. And I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, and I'm with you. That's pretty amazing. I was going to say I don't watch a ton of repeats, but then I recently watched, I think, the whole series of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Right.
And there was episodes where it's like, oh, I remember this one. You know, or I keep watching Seinfeld. Actually, I don't watch Seinfeld much anymore. I finally kind of broke that curse.
How many years consistently were you on the Seinfeld train, as far as watching it? Because it was a long, long time.
I mean, it went off the air when I was a senior in high school, and Bernie and I used to record it then on VHS tapes.
Wow.
So we could rewatch them. It went into syndication, but I mean, I can guarantee you for the last at least 12 years. It just whatever was going on, that was, if I was in a good mood, like, let's watch Seinfeld. Or if I was in a bad mood, like, I'll watch Seinfeld, get my mind off things. So yeah. But now I've just reached the point where I watch so many of them, I can't. I can't
remember the year. Early on, it's like 92, whenever they first started. But every once in a while, they'll show one from the very beginning, and I'll watch one of those just simply because, number one, I haven't seen it. Number two, everything just they all look so young and so different.
Jerry's parents aren't even the same.
Right. It's crazy. He got new parents. You can even do that, Roseanne.
Get new parents?
Yeah. Would you trade in your parents? You know what I mean? Like, I'll get a new pair for a while. See how that works.
Parents? No.
Yeah, maybe they'll take me on vacation.
Well, not now. I mean, when I was a kid, there were times.
Oh, yeah, then. Sure.
Like, hell yeah. I want the parents that actually buy pretzels.
Right. My Christmas would be much better if I had different parents.
Yeah, when you're a child, you always think about that.
Sure. I would say they buy them this and cut the crust off the sandwich.
Why do you think I want to spend the night over there? Because they have things to do.
Yeah, but also you could have parents that had crunchy peanut butter. I don't want to spend a night at a kid's house.
Dude. Yeah, no, man. F that. Sorry.
Lots of crunchy peanut
Speaking
butter.
of trade parents, when you're a small child, this kid is 10 years old, right? He's on This Is Us, as I always say.
Don't know
a ton about the show. Just know you're going to cry. So his name is Lonnie Chavez. Basically, he's got a big gap in his teeth.
Okay.
So he kind of put out a video, and I mean, look, this kid is 10, but he sounds pretty much more on point about social bullying than a lot of other people I've heard.
All the trolls that have been trolling in my comments, talking about my gap. I mean, trolling, period. I mean, I could get my gap fixed. Like, braces can fix this, but, like, can you fix your heart, though? I mean, there are kids out here, like, killing themselves just because of y'all hating and trolling and doing just crazy stuff. I mean, it's stupid. I mean, is it fun? No. It hurts people. People kill themselves, and you're the one who's making them do it. I mean, fix your heart, though. For real. I mean, I'm happy that I can handle this. I'm not tripping, but there are kids out here. Like, if y'all kids are watching this, like, don't trip. Be who you want to be. I mean, do what you want to do. Do you. Be you. Believe in yourself.
Hear that, Pocahontas?
Well, I also think, too, I think it's good.
Sorry, my bad.
You know, for any age group, it's good to hear from your peers.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So, like, as adults, you could tell a 10-year-old kid all the time, like, don't sweat it, be confident.
Right.
Like, right, but it's a 10-year-old kid, right? They don't care. So it's different when you hear him saying it to him.
As he's counting his money.
Or any
I can get it fixed, bitch.
Or any adult that doesn't do that either.
Yeah, but I mean, like, look at Michael Strahan, right? Like,
held him back.
He could have afforded to get that gap fixed years ago if he wanted to. That's like part of who he is.
It doesn't seem to have affected his career path. He seems to be very successful.
And to be honest with you, if it doesn't affect your eating, then the only thing that ever comes up is someone else bringing it up, right? Like, if it's not detrimental to your ability to do something, like, Yeah.
And it's tough, man, especially like when you work in Hollywood. Because, I mean, you got to be so clean and like perfect.
Mm-hmm. Or big, like Michael Strahan. Say something about the Gap. Nah, dude, it's all good.
Right? Just like, you're totally fine.
Yeah.
But, you see the other side, too. Right now, one of the big things in the news is the sad downward spiral of, like, Heather Locklear.
Yep.
Right? So that, it's just weird how life can go, right? I think a lot of people looked at Heather Locklear for years and were like, she's beautiful, she's famous, she's on all these shows. Like, what could be wrong, right? It's like, well, obviously there's some things that were wrong.
There's some definitely things wrong.
Man, oh, man, yeah. And she always kind of went down that path, but like in the last 2 weeks, it has happened with alarming frequency.
Yeah, there was always those instances that kind of came
like
up.
Once every 3 years, and you go, oh, she's back at it again. No, it's not like she's not at it again. This is just what she does.
Yeah, and some of those people, too, when you reach that level of Heather Locklear, like, it's just such a different life, right? I mean, you're not going almost anywhere, grocery store, whatever.
No.
I mean, maybe you just want to go to the farmer's market, get some local berries. Strawberries or whatever.
I think that's what did it for her.
Very rock and
was
roll.
her inability to go to the farmer's market and get her
really,
berries.
Yeah, these berries are changing your life.
Heather Locklear wants some berries.
It was a berry day today?
I had some berries today. They weren't local organic ones.
Right. When's the market again?
Friday morning.
Nice. Okay.
That's the one I had Friday morning.
Right.
Yeah.
I get one on Sunday.
Yeah, I know. And I hate saying it, but I do like those fresh berries.
Well, they're fresh.
Yeah, I know, dude. It sounds terrible. Would you want to try a local organic strawberry?
I'm not going to hate on you for eating fresh fruit. I'm just going to make fun of you. Thank you, Tim. We appreciate it. Mike's got your headlines here coming up momentarily. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. So we head to Florida, where a Florida man gets into a fist fight with another guy's car. Meanwhile, a pilot accidentally triggers the hijack alarm on a plane, and that plane did not go far. Speaking of flights, woman on flight freaks out so plane has to emergency land. In Alaska, squirrel steals donut right out of a police officer's hand, and police dog named Nacho sniffs out $1 million in meth, and then is deported because his name is Nacho. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's Mike Hawk.
All right, our top story at JFK Airport. 150 passengers were all terrified for their lives, but their plane hadn't even left the ground. Turns out that while taxiing, the plane suffered from some radio equipment issues. Trying to resolve the issue, the pilot accidentally entered an incorrect code and actually triggered a hijacking alert on the plane.
Oh.
Security forces surrounded these and searched the plane, but of course found no threat, and the plane was able to take off for its destination. 4 hours later.
Man, oh man. I mean, do you tell people that, hey, I accidentally hit the hijack thing?
Well, how do you not? I mean, you just alerted to them that, hey, we're getting hijacked. Everybody remain calm.
Yeah, that's true.
Turns out there were actually no hijackers. I just hit a bad button. I fat-fingered it.
My bad.
I do it all the time when I text,
Damn, autocorrect.
Trucking.
Oh, dear. In other news.
Right.
In Anchorage, Alaska, police released footage of a heinous crime being committed within their own precinct. The department posted a video on their Facebook page of a squirrel stealing a donut from a police officer. They posted the video saying that he stole a perfectly good donut from a cop. That is a straight up felony.
They don't hold a candle to a crow, man.
No?
I'm telling you, man, crows, they are figuring it all out now, man. They are stealth.
Okay.
I've seen more amazing feats from crows lately where I'm just
I don't think they're
wow,
stealth.
dude.
I think they're like flash mobs.
I saw a
like
crow
a squirrel
lift a
tries
trash can off of a goddamn trash can, man. Get in there, pull out what he wants, put the trash can back down, get on top of the trash can, eat what he wanted, pick the lid back up, go back in and get something else.
But here's the secret.
And he's closing the lid.
Because they are smart. And I discovered this at my last place. I'd walk the dog, and all the crows were out there, and there'd be trash all over the alley. Recognize what it is. What I discovered was, because they are smart and they piece things together, every time I picked up my dog's turds, I always made sure that was on top. Mm-hmm. And they never went to my trash can again, because I guess when they opened it, it smelled like, looked like, and the only thing available, they'd still go after the neighbor's stuff. So after that, I'm telling you, man, if they're that smart, which they are.
They are that smart because they don't want to eat poop.
So look, man, even if you don't have a dog, what your neighbor does, take it out of their trash can, put it in yours.
We're talking about who's smarter, the squirrel or the crows?
Oh, the crow.
I do hate it. It's the trash panda. The raccoon. I mean, he's called Trash Panda.
But it's not a squirrel or a crow, Ted.
That's what I'm saying.
But you're saying they're the smartest?
Yeah.
Crafty
got fingers,
little buggers.
dude.
They do have
Speaking
fingers.
of strange videos online, someone in Florida caught an interesting case of road rage on film. The video shows a man taking his anger out on the car behind him by getting out of his car and then punching the grill of the SUV with his bare hands.
Hard.
He was winding up. He was going after it, man. The driver of the SUV starts to back away from the man, and the man charges and jumps into the grill for one more strike before returning to his car.
Yeah, he
just flew at the car.
Mind. Yeah, and he dented the front of the car.
Yeah.
I think I would just kind of let him.
Yeah, I would.
Like, at least get cell phone to this. Like, I deal with the chairman. This mofo. God damn.
It's easier to dent a car than you think.
Oh, no, I know.
But throwing your body at a car would definitely do it.
I discovered that in my father's car when I was a kid. Like, oh, I didn't think it would dent that easy. And then my father explained why that's a bad idea. I learned a lot that day.
Yeah. Once when I was 19, I learned you shouldn't walk on the roof of cars.
Oh,
that's a bad idea.
It's bad for it.
Yes, oh, yeah.
Roof, the hood, that whole Dukes of Hazzard slide over the hood thing. Yeah, that's really bad for it. The stories just keep getting weirder. In Atlanta, a man jumped over the fence at an airport and jumped onto the wing of a stationary plane.
That's amazing that he got on a stationary plane.
I'm amazed that he got that far. Absolutely.
That is the question. How did that man get past all the security?
When you're really, really high.
Right.
Depending what, like PCP, people do crazy things. I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's PCP, but based on the still photos I saw where he was and what he was not wearing should be the best way
He
to
was
put
not
that.
sober.
No.
Yeah. But you have to understand something else, too. Just based on sheer size, that airport is like the size of Norfolk or Los Angeles.
Right.
It's so big. Like
So he ran a marathon to find a plane.
The perimeter of that
probably
airport
took security
is so
forever to get to him.
big.
Like, we see him.
It's large, man. It's a large, large airport.
The man was barefoot and only dressed in his underwear during the incident. He said that he walked onto the plane, started pounding on the windows, and he was arrested. That's it for your headlines with that. Mike Hawk is out.
Thank you, Mike. We appreciate it. Big Dummy on tap next time we see you, along with the head chef with Ted's Meat and Potatoes.
Yes, indeed. It's all true. But in the meantime, we be all about this bitch. So until next time, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.